So after hunting about 25 years now, I've went from cotton clothing to start out with, like most everybody, because that's what I could afford, until what I use now, where for the most part, money's no object when it comes to clothing. So I've went through a lot of different stuff, and I just wanted to show you what I use now that keeps me warm, that I found that works. Um, So, as far as long underwear go, in the early season until it gets down into the teens, I usually use scent lock clothing, unless I am going to be walking for a long period of time and I still need that um, base layer. If I'm doing a lot of walking to a stand, I'll use a wool clothing because it wicks the moisture and breathes very well, so I don't end up sweating. Um, my wool clothing of choice for base layers is minus 33 degrees or Wool Power. I've used both of those, and I would say minus 33 is probably my favorite because I think it's cheaper and it works just as well. So during the early season, when I don't need a base layer, I keep all my hunting clothes in either a scent safe bag or a tote with a carbon top on it to absorb some scent. I don't know if it works or not, but it's a little added insurance. So for early season, I've been wearing, and I don't believe too much in camouflage. I mean, camouflage is good, don't get me wrong, but I would rather wear a piece of clothing that I like and in a drab color rather than a camouflage pant. So I've been wearing Pro Vita, I believe they're called, from Fjällräven pants. They're quiet. They're made of G1000 material, which is very tough. They're light. They breathe very well. They're semi-wind and water resistant. So I like these pants. So far, I've only worn them for 1 year, and to be honest with you, I don't. It's not. It usually turns cold before I can use a light pant for very long. Okay, so my next layer. My pants are usually always wool until it gets brutally cold, and then I will wear a wool pant underneath my bibs. And the bibs we'll get to, but I either wear a Columbia wool pant. It's camouflage. They actually don't sell them anymore. At least I cannot find them. I think it's Gallatin Ridge wool pant by Columbia. I forget. I'm butchering the name, I know, but they do sell the bibs in that same pant, and it is not 100% wool, but you cannot beat those pants or bibs for the price. I have used them when I was a teenager, and I still have the same pair of pants. They're starting to wear out, but they've been awesome. I wear them more than any other pant, and they're great. I also have a pair of the wool pants I have on now are King of the Mountain. They have large pockets. They zipper, or you can keep the zipper open and just have a snap. I like the camouflage. When I am in the tree, it is nice to have a light colored camouflage against the sky. But I usually always wear wool pants. On the top, I usually wear a wicking type t-shirt, a Under Armour type t-shirt first, and then wool over the top. Like this wool long sleeve shirt. It's fairly heavy duty, can zip down to let perspiration out and breathe. And then on top of that, if it's not too cold, I will wear another wool layer. I have a Wool Power vest that I wear all the time. When it gets really cold, I wear this on top of this wool, and then these garments, which I'll go through. But I love this wool power vest. It's got a really tall collar, and it zips up, and it doesn't chafe your neck or anything like that. There's no cold zipper, and it goes right to your jawline. So it's like having a scarf too, and it's fairly thick. This is great. Any type of wool is awesome because wool breathes really well. It does not burn, so you can use it around campfires or whatever. Not that I do that with my hunting clothing, but that's another reason why wool is good. It's antimicrobial, so it does not stink when it gets wet or perspiration on it. It doesn't bacteria. It inhibits the growth of bacteria. It's durable. It breathes better than any material I've used. It can hold 30% of its own weight in water and not feel damp. Like most clothing, like Gore-Tex and stuff, says it breathes. Well, that's kind of a relative term. If it's able to, if moisture is able to escape, it breathes. But is it doing it at a rate that keeps you dry? With Gore-Tex, no. Nothing really does that is synthetic. But wool does. Wool keeps you dry and comfortable. It has the most temperature variation to keep you comfortable, meaning you can wear this jacket when it's warmer and colder, and it'll keep you warm throughout that temperature range. It also keeps you warm when it is wet. I think everybody knows that. It is fairly water resistant. On the outside fibers, there's actually two components that make up each fiber, and the outside scaly part of the wool will shed water. You have to buy good wool though, and it won't be scratchy. So remember that. Most people say wool is scratchy. That's because you bought crappy wool. You have to buy a good wool and it'll have more crimps in it, which touches your skin less. More surface area touches your skin, and it'll be soft to the touch. Crappy wool does not have the crimps in it and actually those fibers poke your skin, and that's why it's scratchy. So that's why I stick to wool. Wool is bad in a couple ways. First of all, it doesn't dry very well. It takes a long time to dry. It isn't very wind resistant. So that is why I like to wear a wind resistant top. When the wind is above 10 miles an hour, I will wear a wind stopper top, and that's what this is. Sitka, their wind stopper jacket. I've worn this for 3 years now, and I love this thing. I wear it any time that the wind is strong. I really like the camouflage. I think it breaks you up really well in the tree stand. The pockets are great. You got 2 hand warmer pockets, 2 chest pockets, which is what I like. And this is where I wear 90% of the time, unless it gets down into the single digits. This is an example of that Colombian wool I was talking about. This is their jacket. I wear this when it's not windy. It's like a recycled wool, but it's got, the pockets are great. But the pair of pants are phenomenal. I love the pair of pants, and I actually could not find another pair of pants, so I bought the bibs, and I have those as a backup when my pants finally tear out and everything. But so far they've lasted me 20 years, so it's pretty good. So I have this jacket when it's not windy. My light jacket in the early season, when I'm wearing those Fjällräven pants and it's not very cold, you know, you're in the 60s and stuff, I have this fleece jacket that I wear, or a fleece pullover. This is from Cabela's. It's like their extreme cold weather clothing system, I believe. It's like a military fleece. I really like it because the sleeves aren't bulky, so I can wear this and you don't bulk up your sleeve area. That's why I like vests. You can put another layer on and not have it in your sleeves, where you don't need the warmth, and you can still have a good range of motion for pulling back your bow and stuff. But I like this color. It's a drab color, blends in really well. Like I say, it doesn't have to be camouflage as long as it doesn't stand out. Deer aren't camouflage, you can't see them, so I like drab colors. So this fleece works really well. So when it starts getting real cold, down into the 30s, I'm still wearing this jacket. I still like my wool, but when I'm sitting for long periods of time, my secret weapon now is down. And I started doing that about 4 years ago, because you can wear a ton of layers of wool. It's a little bit heavy, and it doesn't keep you as warm as down. So I have bought a down coat, and this is a Kuiu. Their super down coat. I just bought this. I used it last year and this year. I really like this. Before this, I had just a regular down coat that was blue. The reason I bought this is because it was camouflage and it was drab color. It's kind of hard to find some lightweight down coats, because it seems like they're always for hiking and they're always like a bright color. So I saw this. The other reason I like it is because their down is like treated somehow where it doesn't get weighted down if it gets wet. It's like a waterproof down. But I really like this jacket. It's their warmest one, and with the windproof shell over the top, I can hunt in single digits with this, and I haven't done below 0 because usually I switch to my other top, my really warm coat that will go over. But this jacket is noisy, that's why I wear that layer over the top. I would not wear this as my outer layer, because it's made of that material that down coats are always surrounded in, you know, and it's a little bit noisy. But it's great for a mid layer because it slides right into your jacket. And this thing is super warm. You know, you can stand all day with this and stay warm. That's why I love down. I'll wear wool underneath this, and that'll help it breathe, but I do not wear this when I'm still hunting. That way, I'll usually wear wool if I'm still hunting, because then it breathes really well, and this does not breathe as well, and I don't need a super warm jacket while I'm moving through the woods, because I'm moving and producing heat that way. Now when it really gets cold, single digits, you're going to be sitting on stand all day long. I have the Cabela's MT050 jacket and bibs. They're expensive. The Sitka jacket is expensive. This is expensive, but hopefully I have this gear for a long time, and it's worth it for me to stay in the stand. This jacket is very warm. It's bulky. It's got a lot of pockets and stuff, but it is kind of heavy. It's Gore-Tex, so if it's snowing or whatever, even in the rain, you can wear this jacket. And I also have the bibs to go with it. Now if you wear this with this down jacket, you can pretty much stand as cold as it gets. There's not too many more things out on the market that are warmer than this combination. If I have wool pants underneath these bibs and this down jacket underneath this coat, I'm good to go. Now for gloves, I always have my hand warmer. I always have my hand warmer with me with one of those Hot Pocket hand warmers inside of this, and then I'll usually wear a light wool glove. I have a problem with my hands like getting wet and clammy in like different kinds of synthetic gloves. So I like to wear a wool glove because then my hands stay dry and warmer. These are kind of beat up. The mice got to them, but next year I think I might get ones with a leather palm to grip things better. But I like to wear these, or the type that are the glove mitt with the fingerless, with the mitt that goes over the top. I wear those a ton during bow season. That's kind of my go-to glove. But and then I stick my hands in my pockets. I want something thin that I can feel my release with, and it doesn't need to really keep me warm. My hand warmer keeps me warm. I just need something that when I grab my bow, I can sit. If there's a deer there, my hands won't get freezing cold. If I'm sitting there, and he's coming across the stand, it's going to take 15-20 minutes. I need something warm enough to hold the riser of my bow. Now for shoes, I have Danner Pronghorn 800 gram. I like an 800 or 1,000 gram for anything when it's dipping into the 30s. Early season, I'll wear like a Keen type hiking boot. And then when it really gets cold, actually I should say when it gets into the 20s, because my feet always get cold, I went to Sorel boot, and I like the felt liner instead of those other type like lacrosse boots. I don't like the type of liner. I like this felt liner because I think it keeps your feet drier. I think it wicks better than those other type of liners. This has one of those felt liners in it, and it's also somewhat waterproof. So I wear this, and then the other thing I've done when it really gets cold and you're going to be sitting on stand all day long, I have those heated insoles that I have put in these boots that work pretty good. Now, I have the worst feet ever. My feet always get cold. So I came up with a system that hasn't failed me yet. You wear a good wool sock. I never wear two pairs of socks. I wear a good thick wool sock, always wool socks, 100% wool. I'll put this liner, I'll put my heated insoles in here, and then I will take this liner. Now mind you, this is after you get into your stand. You have to carry this with you. I will take this liner and put it in a boot blanket. Now this doesn't weigh very much, but it is cumbersome. So I have this with me. I carry this strapped to my pack. I wear my normal boots in with cotton socks. When I get to my stand, I take my boots off, I take my socks off, my cotton socks, which have absorbed the sweat from my feet. I put them in a Ziploc bag, zip them up. I leave my boots at the bottom of the stand. I try to put them together just so the scent doesn't come out of them. I try to put the other boot together like this, butt it up so the scent doesn't come up. I'll put leaves and stuff on top of them, trying to mask the scent that might be coming out of the boot. And then when I get my stand, I put these on. So I don't have, that's a ton of insulation under your feet and around them, and it works great. That's the only way I've found to keep my feet warm. You look like an idiot, but it keeps you warm. As far as headwear goes, I just wear a good stocking cap. I like one with some fleece around the ear part to, when I pull it down, there's no wind getting in there. And then I wear a light fleece face mask that has a nose cut out for it, and also vents in the mouth. So when I do pull it up over my nose, it reduces the amount of condensation from my breath, and that works pretty well. And that's pretty much my system for hunting clothing that I found that works the best for me. I will say that wool is king. I like that the best. And then if it's windy, I'll put my wind layer on top. And if it's snowing and windy and very cold, I'll wear these Cabela's MT050 over the top of everything. So, well, I hope that helped you guys out. If you like these videos, press like and subscribe. Thanks.